What's up?
I was in this contest. Hold on, I got a little message. Recording in progress. I'm excited to call this contest of District 3 to order. So welcome to this year's virtual international speech contest. And no contest can be conducted without the hard work of many individuals. So join me in thanking our contest judges who are kept anonymous, as well as the ballot counters, timers, chief judge, our fabulous Zoom masters, and anyone else who has assisted in making this contest successful throughout the entire journey of this contest season. Because this contest is being recorded, the legal team at Toastmasters International requires I read this very long statement. By attending this remote contest, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as name, image, and any shared messages may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmasters International and District 3, who may use the recording in the future as they see fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in conjunction with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeliness, or defamation. All right, well, our international speech contest is here, and you truly are in for a real treat. Each of our international speech contestants started with an idea that their speech was solid and worthy of a contest and could be well delivered. I truly have a deep appreciation for the tremendous amount of work that brought each of you to this point today. And I know after seeing you all and talking with you on Thursday that you are going to knock it out of the park tonight. Thank you for the hard work you put in, the practice, rehearsals, revisions, and refinements. And hopefully that will pay off today as you then will move, one of you will move into the next round of the baseball game. So before we begin the contest, I have a few reminders for our audience. At this time, your audio has been muted to avoid interruption during the contest. And please note that the chat feature has been disabled for the duration of the contest to avoid influencing the judges and distracting contestants. Please buckle up, remain in your seat while on camera to reduce sudden movements in the speaker view. And remember that you are on camera even when you're not speaking. So please avoid any remarkable or embarrassing movements or facial expressions that might cause a distraction. We also do not need a tour of your house, so don't take us anywhere we shouldn't be. During the minute of silence between speakers, all audio lines will remain muted. All right, I have a very important question for our chief judge. Chief Judge, are we ready for a contest?
Madam Contest Chair, we are ready for a contest.
Well, thank you, Chief Judge Christie. So contestants, timers, and ballot counters have all been briefed prior to the beginning of this contest, and everyone is aware of the Toastmasters International rules that govern this contest. So before we let the contest begin, I just want to say one little word that we have announced the dignitaries this morning, so we will not be announcing the dignitaries during this contest as they have been previously announced, but we do have some great dignitaries in the audience, and I want to thank everyone for attending the conference and the contest. All right, let's let the contest begin. All right, District 3 international speech contestants, please indicate you are present by using your raise your hand function in the Zoom controls, and this can be found under the participant screen. Just looking around, oh, everyone looks so good, I love it. All right, looks like we have everyone. So you can go ahead and put your hands down. The contestants have been renamed with their speaking order, so you can review that. And as I mentioned, there will be 1 minute of silence between each contestant. So timekeepers, when I advise you to do so, please signal me with a green background when 1 minute is up. After all contestants have spoken, the judges will be given all the time they need to complete their ballots. Now, contestants, please pin the timekeeper in your Zoom window to ensure that you can see the timing signal. And timers, if you could cycle your lights now for me. Thank you. And if you could cycle the lights one more time to give the contestants a moment to pin you and make sure that they are able to see you, I would appreciate it. Thank you. All right, the Zoom master will unmute each contestant during the minute of silence, and then I will address the contestant. So since we are ready to begin, contestant number 1, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good afternoon, contest chair.
Good afternoon, contest chair.
Great, I can hear you and you can hear me? Perfect, and please confirm that you have pinned and can see the timing lights.
I have pinned and can see the timing lights.
Perfect. All right, Sylvia Davis, become Emilio. Become Emilio, Sylvia Davis.
Who is it that inspires you to keep going despite all of your challenges? Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, I want to tell you about who it is that inspires me. His name is Emilio. And I met Emilio one Friday night while I was at home watching National Geographic. Yes, I am National Geographic on a Friday night years old. The show opens with the camera fixated on a patch of dirt on the beach. The narrator says, 2 months earlier, a sea turtle laid her eggs in this very spot. All of a sudden, out pops a little turtle head and another and another. Then the camera pans overhead to reveal circling vultures. The turtles begin to run towards the ocean and the vultures begin to dive bomb. It is a massacre. I get mad at National Geographic and start to yell at the TV. Put down the camera and help! You know they're endangered. Then the camera goes back to the nest, to the last turtle. I take one look at him and I am instantly in love. I even named him Emilio. The narrator says, as the last to leave the nest, if this turtle doesn't begin to run soon, his chances for survival are greatly decreased. So I yelled at the TV again, run now! And he takes off. Now for a turtle, this is lightning speed. Then the camera shows one of Emilio's siblings. I named him Stanley. The narrator says, out of nowhere comes a vulture. The bird swoops down, picks up the turtle, flies away, but then drops him. When Stanley hit the ground, he doesn't start to run. He stays there, frozen. And I thought to myself, I know exactly how he feels. I have been Stanley. Have any of you ever been so hurt by something in your past that it made you too afraid to take a step towards your future? Stanley had reminded me of something that had happened years in my past, and in that moment, I actually heard my own narrator. 18-year-old Sylvia is going off into the world for the first time on her very own. Out of nowhere comes the pretty boy her father warned her about. He swoops in, carries her away, but then drops her. I was devastated. And like Stanley, I was paralyzed by that experience. But I sat there that night and I continued to watch the show. as they show Emilio as he's attacked by fire ants, but he keeps going. He's attacked by lizards, but he keeps going. He gets all tangled up in seaweed, but he keeps going. He makes it to the shore and the force of the waves are pushing him back, but Emilio keeps going. And then finally, he's made it to the water. And the narrator says, making it to the water is only half the battle. If the turtles don't continue to swim with speed and caution, they open themselves up to different kinds of dangers. Then the camera shows another of Emilio's siblings wading in the water. I named her Michelle. Okay, get it? Michelle, because she's a turtle. This young one has stopped swimming and is no longer moving forward. Perhaps she's tired from her treacherous journey across the beach. Whatever the reason, she's opened herself up to different predators. She doesn't even see what's coming for her. Barracuda, grouper, snapper. Ugh. When I saw what happened to Michelle, I realized I was no longer Stanley. At that moment in my life, I was Michelle. Have you ever worked so hard to get to where you are in life that you're just tired, so you're willing to settle for less than what you know you are capable of? Again, I was able to hear my narrator. Sylvia has become too complacent in life and is no longer moving forward. She's having problems in her marriage and refuses to address the issues. She hates her job so much that she hates Saturday because she has to go to work the day after tomorrow. She's not eating right, refuses to find time to exercise, and is really putting on the pounds. She doesn't even see what's coming for her. Arguments with the spouse, dreading going to work, pizza, chocolates. I ended up divorced, unemployed, and 30 pounds overweight. But the camera goes back to Emilio and shows as he keeps going, and Emilio swims off to the ocean and to his destiny. Do you know why those turtles run? It is because they are born with an instinct, and this instinct tells them, run in the direction that is shining the brightest. Now, how beautiful is that? You see, every single one of us have something in common with those turtles, because all of us are born with something in us that is telling us to run in our brightest direction, run to our purpose. But the vultures and the seaweed and the waves, in other words, life's challenges, get in the way and knock us off course. Emilio, I know we're all of different faiths, but Emilio reminded me of one of my favorite Bible scriptures where it tells us how we can run and not grow weary, how we can walk and not be faint. In other words, how we can keep going. So I made up my mind that night to become Emilio. And I am happy to say I am happily remarried, boldly working on the career of my dreams. And as for the 30 pounds. Well, I never did find the time to exercise. I made time to exercise. Stanley, stop being afraid. And Michelle, don't settle. Run in your brightest direction. Become Emilio and keep going. Contest chair.
Thank you. May we have 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you. Contestant number 2, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good afternoon, contest chair.
Good afternoon, contest chair.
Awesome. Well, I can hear you. You sound great. I hope you can hear me. Can you confirm that you were able to pin the timer and you are good to go?
I am good to go.
Great. Monica Hess, how a chance encounter changed my life. How a chance encounter changed my life, Monica Hess.
Have you ever met someone that you just knew you would be friends with for life? My dear friend Ambrose Ofawani was someone I connected with in a way that few people connect. But let me start at the beginning. When I lived in Tallahassee, every weekday, I'd see a tall man walking past my house in the morning in one direction and in the opposite direction in the evening. What made him so striking was his colorful clothing. I became curious because rarely do we Americans walk anywhere anymore. And one day my curiosity got the better of me and I offered him a ride. Contest chair, honored guests, dignitaries, fellow Toastmasters. Little did I know then that that encounter would change my life. I knew that Ambrose worked for the state of Florida and he loved his job. He'd had a stroke and lost his driver's license, which is why he walked to the bus every day. He told me about recovering from the stroke, how it took him a year to relearn how to walk and talk and write. He told me he lived just down the street from me with his nephew, and that half of his family was in public service in America, and the other half still lived in Africa. Ambrose's biggest dream was to take his only son, living with the son's mother in Orlando, to meet his family in Nigeria. So over the weeks and months we were neighbors, he would invite me over for dinner, and he'd make a specialty dish from Africa that had to be eaten with our hands. While we ate, he'd talk about his young son, Philip. What impressed me most about Ambrose was his positivity. He always talked about feeling blessed, and I don't recall ever hearing him complain. Life moves on, and so did I. I moved for work to California and then to Georgia. Ambrose and I stayed in touch, and in 2010, he told me he'd gone into renal failure and was on dialysis. I asked, "Are you on the transplant list?" And he said, "Yes, but I still need to find a donor." Then I asked a fateful question: "What's your blood type?" It turned out we were both A positive. So I offered to be tested as a possible donor for him. I previously considered being a non-directed donor for a woman I didn't know who needed a kidney transplant. But at the last minute, her family stepped up. But this idea stayed with me. When I found out that Ambrose needed a kidney, I knew I had to do something. From my previous research, I knew that thousands of people die in our country every year waiting for a transplant. And if I could do something for my friend, I wanted to do it. I underwent the testing, cancer screening, colonoscopy, 2 days of being poked and prodded every possible way at the transplant center. To say that it was not fun is an understatement. But I kept thinking of Ambrose, hooked up to the dialysis machine 3 times a week. The day that I learned we were a match, I was elated. I called Ambrose to tell him the news, and he was silent. "Are you sure?" he said. "Yes," I replied. "Let's get this scheduled." I had several weeks to prepare. And in that time, I didn't tell anyone, well, except my work and my mom. I wrote letters to my friends and family, just in case. And I stocked up on food since I was told I'd be too tired to shop after the surgery. A neighbor in Georgia drove me the 4 hours to the Shands Transplant Center in Gainesville, Georgia, and I underwent yet another final day of testing. And I remember after the testing, sitting in this beautiful butterfly garden, just contemplating life and what was about to happen the next day. My phone rang. It was the donor advocate. "Are you sure you want to do this?" she said. She didn't know me very well. I got to see Ambrose the morning of the surgery, and I knew it might be the last time we talked. He was upbeat as always. He thanked me for being willing to help no matter what happened. Ambrose's brother waited with me until I went into surgery. 12 hours later, I woke up, and my first thought was, how is Ambrose? It was touch and go for him for the first few weeks, but eventually his medication to keep from rejecting my kidney was figured out, and he was able to move home to Tallahassee. 9 months later, I started work in Taiwan, happy knowing that Ambrose did not have to undergo the indignity of dialysis anymore. I wish this story had a happier ending. 20 months after our surgery, Ambrose's brother Reggie wrote to tell me that Ambrose had had a heart attack at home and died, with what his family called little Monica still going strong inside of him. He made sure to tell me how thankful the family was that I had been willing to donate, and that Ambrose had had almost 2 extra years of a better quality of life. Why am I telling this story? I may have given Ambrose a few more years of life post-dialysis, but he ignited in me a paradigm shift. He reminded me that life is short, and that if there is something that we have a desire to do, we should find ways to do it. It's why I moved to Taiwan, where I joined Toastmasters, and why I tell this story. Meeting Ambrose taught me that we can be thankful no matter what our circumstances are. And sometimes, even when we least expect it, a single person can change our lives for the better. Madam Contest Chair.
May we have 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you, timers. Contestant number 3, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good afternoon, contest chair.
Good afternoon, contest chair.
Perfect. So you can hear me, I can hear you. We're good to go. Please confirm you are able to pin the timer and see the timing lights.
I pinned the timer. I'm good to go.
Great. Jaehan Sung, listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Jaehan Sung.
Imagine that you just got off the work, arrived at home, and realize, oh, it's raining outside. Just one of your typical monsoon days in Arizona. How lovely. Then all of a sudden, this comes to your mind. When was the last time that you were really totally by yourself? When was the last time that I really listened to myself? Madam Contest Chair, honorable judges, and fellow Toastmasters, I'm here to share with you the joy and pain of finding my inner peace. It went back all the way to the time when I was invited by my beloved Buddhist friend to a temple in South Korea. It was an overnight event for the general audience who just want a taste of the Buddhist life. Hey, new lifestyle, new environment, and new people. I was excited like a puppy who's ready for a walk. Yay, we're going for a trip. My quiet Buddhist friend looked at me embarrassed and also slightly irritated. No, Jaehyun. This is not the time for you to make new friends. You are not allowed to talk to other guests. What? Are you kidding me? I'm a bona fide Toastmaster just like you, fellow Toastmasters. I love presenting, evaluating, impromptu speaking, maybe competing at a Toastmaster convention. Of course. But most of all, I love meeting people and talking with people. I was excited about this trip because I felt I can finally use my Toastmaster power at this exotic temple. But sadly, there will be no conversation allowed, no talking allowed during the next 24 hours. What should I do with my Toastmaster power during the next 24 hours? During the first half a day, I was busy nodding, smiling, and bowing like 1,000 times during the half a day. But at the end of the day, however, to my surprise, I was invited to a group event. Group event. I thought I'm not supposed to talk, right? But maybe there is my chance to meet new friends. My gentle Buddhist friend came in once again to warn me. No, Jaehyun. This is not a talking event. We're going to make a beaded bracelet. Bracelet? Okay, that sounds like fun. I was invited to this meeting room. When I arrived at the meeting room for the bracelet activity, it was the strangest thing I ever seen in my life. There were 30-something people who gathered together. Each and every seat, in front of those seats, there was a tiny little dish that had gazillions, no, hundreds of tiny little bees and a beading wire to work with. A gentle Buddhist lady gently signaled the start. So many people got together, but all of a sudden, it was dead quiet. So many people got together, but you could have heard a pin drop. It was that quiet. That was my time. There were just me and those little bees, and we had full 15 minutes. I really had to wrestle with my little bees. to complete my bracelet. If I ever attempt to my dear neighbor, I'm not going to able to finish my bracelet. What should I do? I managed, survive, and endure that quiet time. And finally, I came up with my beautiful bracelet. Isn't this beautiful? But this is not the only thing I earned from my bracelet party. After I finished working on my bracelet, I finally looked up and realized that those 30-something people were still there. And I was able to find calm and beautiful smile on every single face. I knew at the time, without conversation, without talking, we were already friends and we found our inner peace. Fellow Toastmasters, as a hardworking Toastmaster, if you ever feel exhausted from too many speeches, too many evaluations, too much competing, maybe it's time for you to relieve from all of those Toastmaster chore and find that moment of silence to find your inner peace. When was the last time that you really were by yourself? When was the last time that you really listened to yourself? Can't remember when? Now is the time. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you. May we have 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots? Thank you, timers. Contestant number 4, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good afternoon, contest chair.
Good afternoon, contest chair.
I can hear you perfectly. Please confirm that you have pinned the timer and are able to see the timing lights.
I'm good to go.
All right. Des Losberg, Purpose Price. Purpose Price, Des Losberg.
The day you were born and the day you discover the reason why might be the 2 most important moments in your life. Madam Contest Chair and my fellow purpose seekers, what is the meaning of life? I have no idea. I'm not the Dalai Lama, nor do I want to be. But I want to embark on a journey together with you today. I'm going to share a very personal story, and I hope by the end, you discover something new about finding your life's purpose. Perhaps you've already found it. Maybe you've changed it or added a new one. Regardless of where you're at in life, these revelations were not overnight, were they? No, they were discovered through trial and error. We didn't have a buy it now button where our purpose shows up on our doorstep the next day. Amazon's not selling that, at least not yet. Epiphanies are born through adversity. But what if you could? Think about it. How much would you pay to find your life's purpose? What's your purpose price? 20, 40, 45, 46. $46. That's it. That's all it took for me to discover mine. Back when I was 19 years old, I was fresh out of high school. I was working as a waiter in a restaurant and I was partying every single weekend. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop. Back then, I was an aspiring ladies' man, definitely not because of my dance moves. And one night, I get a call from one of my many female friends. Hey, Samantha. Hi, it's Ricky. Hey, Ricky. I'm pregnant. Wait, what? How does that even happen? Apparently, I forgot how babies were made. What are we going to do? Don't worry, I've already made an appointment for Friday to terminate the pregnancy. It's $180 and I need a ride. Yeah, sounds good. I'll work the next couple of nights, pick you up on Friday. Problem solved. Every night I worked in the restaurant, I made $100 in tips guaranteed. Add that to what I already had, and it was a done deal. Thursday night comes around and it was time to total up what I had. I was short. How much? Yep, you guessed it. $46. I called Ricky and told her to postpone the appointment to Monday. I was going to work through the weekend so I could come up with the cash to pay for that procedure. I was buying myself time so I could buy myself a solution. Now that I think about it, maybe I should have just been a politician. And I worked through the weekend and I did it. I got the money to solve our problem. It was time to call Ricky and tell her where we stood. But she didn't answer. I called over and over again, and she didn't answer. Why shouldn't she take my call? Pick up the phone! I waited anxiously by the phone all night, desperate. And finally, the phone rang. Hello, Ricky? I did it. I got the money for tomorrow. Her parents found out. She's keeping the baby. Why is this happening? At that point, I did what any normal kid would do in that same situation. I went back to partying. Woo. I pretended like I didn't have a care in the world. My mindset wasn't on being a parent. I thought to myself, I'm just going to stay away. Ricky's going to come to her senses. And for the first 4 months of the pregnancy, I wasn't even around. And then I started thinking to myself that I didn't want to become my father. See, when I was 17 years old, I ran away from home. And I no longer have a relationship with my dad to this day. I ran away from my father, and now I'm running away from fatherhood. Back then, if you looked up the word coward in the dictionary, you'd see my dumb face in there. It looked like this. It was that cognitive dissonance that motivated me to make a change. I got involved. I went to birthing classes. Ricky and I moved in together. And on June 6th, 2002, my son was born. That moment that parents have when their child's born and they see him for the first time, it happened to me too. It changed me. Have you had a moment in your life that changed you? And that was my moment. That was the moment where I morphed and became a better version of myself. I was this 19-year-old kid, lost, no sense of direction. I couldn't even dance. Always asking why. And then I transformed from asking why to having a why. My life now had a purpose. I had a family depending on me. And isn't that what we all need? A purpose? I launched my career. I'm now married to my soulmate. I have 3 amazing children. Quite the handful. And now I'm in pursuit of living my best life. And through joining Toastmasters, I finally have the courage to share this story with all of you. I want you to think about your career, your health, your relationships, your spirituality. Is your purpose tied to any one of those? Your purpose could be anything. It could come from anywhere, but you have to look for it. And when you see it, you have to capture it. And when you capture it, you have to embrace it and make that change. I found my life's purpose because I didn't have $46. That was my purpose price. Perhaps your moment will come, even when life doesn't provide. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you. May we have 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots? May we have 1 moment of silence while the judges mark their ballots? Thank you. Contestant number 5, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good afternoon, contest chair.
Good afternoon, contest chair.
Great, we can hear you loud and clear. And are you able to pin the timer?
No, I have not been able to pin the timer. Those
Okay.
little blue dots
So-
don't show up for me.
That's okay. So I would ask that everyone who is in the audience, please refrain from turning on and off your camera during this contestant's speech. So therefore, she is able to see the timer and it does not move around. I'll give you 1 minute, 1 second. Turn on your camera if you want it on or turn it off so that we can give the contestant the ability to see. All right, and you can see the timer?
Yes, I can see the timer.
Great. Terosia Reynolds, out hustle your struggle. Out hustle your struggle. Terosia Reynolds.
Do you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up? I do. When I was a little girl, I had big curls and even bigger dreams. And those dreams were interrupted early and often by the struggle. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Today, we face so many struggles, but I want to encourage you with stories from my own experiences that you can have your dreams, but first, you must out-hustle your struggle. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be an artist and a singer. I practiced it, envisioned, and told everyone what I wanted to be. That wasn't always the best idea, because not everybody understood my dream, and even if they loved me, not everybody wanted it for me. Specifically, my grandmother, who wanted me to be a teacher who plays piano, because teachers who play piano are often good people with steady paychecks who marry good people with steady paychecks. While I was focused on my vision, she saw the hardships and obstacles that would make being an artist seem impossible. She saw the struggle. And like any good grandmother, she didn't want that for me. Unfortunately, when I was in the 8th grade, a life-threatening illness came into my world. idiopathic intracranial hypertension. Try saying that 5 times fast. What it meant was that I woke up every morning to a gamble of not knowing which body parts would work that day. It meant I had to quit track and concert choir. It also meant that the scholarship I had gotten to my dream college, I had to give up. I couldn't go. That disease stole from me and tormented me for 4.5 years. Oh, how my life would have been so different if I had never gotten sick. The summer after I graduated from high school, my family surrounded me with love, support, and prayer. And by faith, that struggle was out hustled. After that harrowing experience, my family and I longed for the safety of normalcy. I was a bit ambitious still, but I had met the struggle face to face, and honestly, it was ugly. So I struggled and I settled for a safe imitation. I became a personal investment broker at a prestigious financial institution. And my grandmother approved because I worked at a nice place where I received a steady paycheck, and I was surrounded by nice, eligible people with steady paychecks. This wasn't my dream, but it was someone's dream job. Settling didn't seem so bad. It felt safe. And I'd lost sight of my vision, but I was comfortable. Unfortunately, one sunny summer day, I was walking back in from lunch wearing gorgeous heels that were clicking along the sunny sidewalk when all of a sudden my gorgeous heels met some very ugly rocks and my very soft head met the very hard concrete. Blackout. I sustained a traumatic brain injury. The struggle had returned and it was trying to take me out. I felt buried and betrayed by this out. I just wanted to give up. To make matters worse, my doctor said that I could never return to my job at the prestigious financial institution, nor could I be a teacher. He said, "You're going to have to find something that you truly love to help mitigate the stress of work. Otherwise, your brain will never heal." And it was as if all the dreams of a little girl with big curls were calling me to become who I'd always longed to be. So I began my journey. Unfortunately, all of those obstacles that made it seem impossible, the imitations that wanted me to just settle, and the outs of fear that jeered me to just give up were there. But I had no choice. This was all I could do. I would have to put one foot in front of the other and out-hustle all those struggles. Fast forward to today. I am a full-time working artist and singer, celebrating my 7-year anniversary as such. I have performed for a few celebrities, and I just spoke at the University of Versailles. So how did I do it? More importantly, how do you out-hustle your struggles when the obstacles, imitations, and outs show up? Remember these notes from my story. Faith, vision, and out-hustle. When the obstacles of life show up and tell you it's impossible, have faith in yourself and your dream. As Muhammad Ali would say, impossible is nothing. When the imitations try to get you to settle, recall your vision, dream it again, but don't tell everyone about your dream. Unfortunately, fears can make you settle for a safe imitation. Lastly, when the outs of life show up, you out-hustle. Outthink the problem, outlast it. Whatever the out is, you can out-hustle it if you refuse to give up. Yes, my life would have been so different without all the struggles that I've had to out-hustle. I wouldn't have this faith in myself. I wouldn't have this clear vision, and I wouldn't have these experiences to share with you to encourage you. Those little kids in us are waiting for us to get our dreams. Let's go. Out hustle your struggle, contest chair.
Thank you. May we have 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you. Contestant number 6, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good afternoon, contest chair.
Good afternoon, contest chair.
Great, I can hear you loud and clear. Please confirm that you are able to see the timing lights.
I am able to see the timing lights. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Paul Mooring. Yeah, you betcha. Yeah, you betcha. Paul Mooring.
Curious, how did your parents do as parents, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, Madam Contest Chair? Don't be too critical, because number 2 question is next. How are you doing as a parent? You know, it seemed so easy when we were about this tall, didn't it? Didn't seem like that tough of a job. The parenting scale goes from way down here with poor to okay to average to good to great. Then there's this huge jump that can be represented by a special word. That special word, mentorism. That's right, mentorism. Yes. Excuse me for just a moment. I've been a professor at Oxford University for over 30 years, and I can tell you that mentorism is simply not a word. It's poppycock and balderdash. Okay, Mr. Professor. Is poppycock a word? Just wait with me for a second, though. Let's say that it's Merriam and Webster's Friday afternoon. They decide to leave work early and head to the pub, and they forget to put mentorism in the dictionary. Could have happened. I don't know. But if you look at their dictionary, and up comes the definition of mentor, it's an experienced and prudent advisor. Oh, just doesn't cut it. We need more today. Mentorism is the act or state of being a mentor at the highest level. The highest level, whether you're a parent or a teacher or a coach or a neighbor or a relative, a friend, or even a stranger. Mentorism is needed and real. How can you work on your mentorism? Let me tell you how George and Sally did it. They were a couple that got married in southern Minnesota back in the 60s. Yeah, you betcha, Minnesota accent and all. They had 2 lovely children, Tammy and Jason, but they had a problem. They wanted more. When they talked before getting married, their lucky number was 4. They wanted more kids, but the doctor said, you're done. Seriously, you're done. Your pregnancies were so dangerous that we might lose you next time. Well, they heeded the doctor's warning, but they always had that little whisper of wanting more. Well, one day after church during fellowship hour, there was a representative from Lutheran Social Services that came in and gave a presentation. Specifically, she was talking about how difficult it was to place mixed race children, black and white, in the household these days. These days being the 1960s. You remember the 1960s, correct? Civil rights movement. There were race riots in major cities across the country. Well, George and Sally took that brochure home with them and read it and went to bed. Over the next few days, however, they started batting around the idea and they were asking each other questions, and they said, why don't we just apply and see what happens? So they went through the application process, and 3 weeks later, they got a letter in the mail that said, you are approved. Oh my goodness, you're approved. You can adopt a child. You wanted 4, this is 3. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, they were so excited, but they had sleepless nights. They were just beside themselves. They went to talk to their parents. They jumped in the car, drove down there, and their parents were 100% against the idea. Both sets of parents. They were afraid for those kids. Back then, they said, have you been watching the telly? Have you been watching the black and white console here? There's race riots in Detroit. There are race riots in Chicago. There's even race riots in Minneapolis and St. Paul. We don't think it's a good idea at this time for you to do this. Well, George and Sally went home dejected, heartbroken. But over the next few days, their desire built to the level that said to themselves, we don't care about your resistance. We don't care about our own doubts and fears. We're going to adopt a child. So that day finally came. They jumped in the car. They were headed to St. Paul. They stopped on a butte that overlooked the Mississippi River before the last bridge that took them the rest of the way. And they sat in that car and they prayed and they cried and they cried and they prayed some more. And then they asked each other, can we really do this? They looked at each other and said, yeah, you betcha. And they drove across the bridge the rest of the way and picked up little Samuel, 6-month-old Samuel, who had a binky, a blankie, and some random clothes. And they swooped him up and took him home for their 3rd child. It worked so well that 4 years later, they went back and picked up Rebecca Sue. Wow. Are you feeling this? Are you feeling this? Mentorism isn't just about being a parent. As I mentioned, it's about being a coach. It's about being a teacher. It's about being best at your vocation. It's reaching out to a stranger, a relative, a friend, and offering that help. I challenge you to adopt this word and bring it into your life. Because even though Merriam and Webster forgot to put it in their dictionary, the world can absolutely not have too much of it. Why am I so jazzed up about mentorism? Let me answer that with a riddle. Who has 2 thumbs and was adopted as George and Sally's 3rd kid? That's right. Samuel Paul Mooring. Are you serious? This story's about you? Yeah, you betcha, Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you. May we have 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots? Thank you, timers. Contestant number 7, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good afternoon, contest chair.
Good afternoon, contest chair.
Perfect. I can hear you loud and clear. Please confirm that you have pinned the timer and are able to see the timing lights.
I cannot pin the timer, but I can see them on my gallery.
Okay, I do ask that everyone in the audience to please refrain from turning on or off their camera so that Julie has the opportunity to see the timer in the same place during her speech. Thank you. All right, Julie Harrington, a winning combination. A winning combination, Julie Harrington.
In the next few minutes, 2 things will happen. You will experience time travel and one of your superpowers will be revealed to you. Fellow Toastmasters, Madam Contest Chair, before we get to that though, let's talk about 5th grade me. My family and I had just moved to a new city, which of course meant me going to a new school. They were already about 2 months into the year, and of course, I didn't know anybody. What gave me solace, though, was a flyer that the teacher passed out at the end of my first day. It announced that there were going to be tryouts in 2 days' time for a play, and that the lead was that of a princess. Yes, perfect, I thought. I knew I would make the perfect princess. The day of the tryouts came, and 2 very nice teachers lined up us girls. There were about 12 of us, and they passed out a single sheet of paper. On that sheet of paper was exactly 1 line. It was from that 1 line that we would be judged who would play the princess. Outrageously confident, I awaited my turn in the line. I was toward the end, and as each girl said her line out loud, something started to happen to me. Reality started to set in. The reality that I had never actually tried out for anything before, and I didn't know what I was doing. There was the reality that my heart was beating really fast and my mouth got really dry. And I looked down and wondered why the paper I was holding in my hand was shaking like that. I also realized that I didn't know anybody in the room. I had no friends to cheer me on. Even the 2 very nice teachers didn't know me and therefore could not possibly vouch for my heretofore yet unseen abilities to play the perfect princess. When my turn came, no words came out. I couldn't speak, and no one, not even myself, could come to my aid. Needless to say, I didn't get the part. I count this event as a benchmark humiliation. Since then, I've learned that humiliations like that stay with us for years and can often still be a source of shame. Come on, raise your hand if you can remember a humiliation from 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah, see? Yeah, we carry these things around like heavy rocks in a backpack. Fast forward to about 10 years ago, I got to accompany my then 5th grade daughter, Georgie, to her first musical audition. Oh, she was so full of pluck and optimism. I recognized that swagger. And when she started to falter in her song and grow quieter and quieter, oh, I recognized that too. Even when the nice director said, "Honey, would you like to try again?" and she choked out, "No." I knew what she was feeling. I knew she wished the ground would open up and swallow her whole. She turned on her heel and ran back to where I was sitting, her already tear-stained face pushed into my shoulder. Poor baby, she looked at me and begged, "Mama, can we go?" Well, because of what I had gone through, I knew exactly what to do. I knew I had to get her right out of that room, into the fresh air. Not. That wasn't going to do her any good. No, staying in the room, finishing strong, facing her humiliation alongside a very nice supporter. That's what was going to do her good. That would let her know that rejection is part and parcel of what she was trying to do, be an actor. That would let her know that she was bigger than this first attempt. By the way, she auditions beautifully these days. The thing that occurred to me was, how did I know to keep her in the room? This, friends, is where I believe I time traveled. The fifth grader in me time traveled to meet up with the mama in me and combined to form the superpower of compassion. How many people in your life need you to time travel? Is it your child, your parent, a coworker, a teammate? Which of your 10-year-old or 20-year-old humiliations can be combined with your present wisdom and be formed into a superpower? These humiliations that we just think of as heavy rocks in our backpacks are actually incredible life lessons. So let's agree. Next time we see somebody in need, let's look in our backpacks and pull out maybe a flashlight of guidance for somebody, or maybe a warm blanket of comfort. Or if they're really lucky, a princess crown. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you. Everyone, please remain silent while the judges are moved into the breakout rooms to complete their ballots. Ballot counters and judges, please rejoin the breakout room and wait for the chief judge to join you. Zoom master, please confirm when all the ballot counters and judges are in the breakout room.
All ballot counters and judges are in the breakout room.
Thank you. All right, let's get to know our contestants. And this group specifically asked for me to grill them with 7 to 10 questions. So here we go, guys. Just kidding. All right, first contestant, Sylvia. Are we able to get Sylvia unmuted?
Hi, I'm here. Hi.
Yeah, I see you now. Awesome. Well, Sylvia, can you tell us how long you've been in Toastmasters and what club you're representing?
I joined Toastmasters around the fall of 2019. And when I joined, I originally joined Southwest Toastmasters, but I'm representing Competitive Edge Toastmasters because I joined that club too.
Great. And what is your Toastmasters education level?
I am following the leadership path, and I completed like the first 2 pathways, I think. So
great. And where are you at right now? Is this your house, or are you in a hotel? You hanging out at the Great Wolf Lodge?
So let me tell you, I was in a speaker showcase this morning, and it's in Phoenix. I live in Vail, Arizona. There was only 2 hours between that contest and this one, and I wouldn't have had time to drive home. So I got a hotel that was near where the other venue is. So that's where I am. Yes, I am in a hotel.
Perfect. Well, you did a great job staging the place. So keep going.
Thank you.
I will send you a certificate, and please accept our deepest appreciation for being a contestant today and being in 2 places at once.
Thank you.
All right, second contestant, Monica.
Hey,
Hey, you made it. Monica, how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
this is my 11th year as a Toastmaster. I am representing Chipmasters, one of the Intel clubs. No pressure.
Great. And what is your Toastmasters education level?
I'm a DTM.
And Monica, we have something in common. I actually lived in Vegas or Gainesville, Georgia, but the students called it Gaines Vegas. So I would love to ask you, what is your favorite thing to do in Gainesville, Georgia when you were there?
Well, I was actually in Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, I thought you were Georgia. Sorry.
I was living in Georgia and we drove the 4 hours down to Gainesville. Yes,
Ah.
looking at maybe. And
Can you
currently
repeat it again?
in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah.
When down there, it's horse country.
Oh, horse country, very familiar. Love it. I lived in Florida too. So I lived all around your town. So I love it. But you're coming to us from somewhere else today. Where are you located today?
In Penang, excuse me, Penang, Malaysia. So I have time traveled. I am 15 hours ahead of y'all. I had to get up at dawn 30. I'm happy to show you behind me if you'd like to see what it looks like here, but you probably want to move on. But yeah, I'm in a couple home.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your commitment and competing today. We truly appreciate you making it happen, and let us know how the future is. We'd love to hear about it.
Right.
Your certificate of participation will be sent via email. All right, our third contestant. Can you come off mute?
I think I
Jehan?
did. I'm on mute.
Oh, perfect. So how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing today?
Well, believe it or not, this is my 10th year to be a Toastmaster. I'm representing Cosmopolitan Toastmasters in Tucson, Arizona.
And I love the club swag behind you. Awesome. So what is your Toastmasters education level?
I have earned a DTM in 2017, and I have almost completed to level 2, the level 542 pass, because I'm working on my second DTM.
Great news. I do have a question for you about these friendship bracelets. So have you ever made any since, or was it one and done for you?
It's just one and done, and it's kind of special in the Buddhist tradition. It's supposed to have all the ingredients that are really important in the Buddhist lifestyle. So it has to be it has to have certain colors in certain combinations. So I really had to focus on my beads during that 15 minutes. So yeah.
Well, maybe someday you'll get back to it.
Yep. Of course.
Well, thank you so much for competing today. I'll also send you a certificate of appreciation.
Thank you so much.
Right, contestant number 4, Des.
Hey,
Hey, Des. So how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
I've been a Toastmaster for 10 months now. July of last year was my early beginnings, and I'm representing Dobson Ranch, the one and only today.
Right. And what is your current education level?
I am at level 5 strategic relationships, kind of hit a crossroads because one of my projects is a 6-month project to volunteer for my club. So I might be starting a new path. I'm not sure. Just trying to get through this contest first.
Oh yeah, I think Dobson Ranch will sign you up for a new path.
No,
Take
no.
care of that.
Anyone on Dobson Ranch board, please disregard that last comment. Thank you.
It's being recorded, Des. Sorry. So my question for you is, what advice would you give to your son?
Oh my goodness gracious. I would give him the advice of just understanding and knowing that everything is going to be okay. Life gives you curveballs. They give you just different messages and different events that happen, and it'll be fine. He'll find his own path. He's figuring that out now. So we're kind of at a crossroads with him, but I know he'll be okay in the end, and he just needs to get through his journey.
Well, thank you for competing. Please accept our appreciation, and I will send you a certificate.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, our 5th contestant, Teresia, can you unmute?
I am on mute.
Oh, perfect. So how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
I've been in Toastmasters for 5 years, and I am a member of the illustrious Elite Toastmasters here in Arizona.
I absolutely love that club name. I think it's great. And what is your current education level?
I just finished my first pathway as I believe visionary communication, and I am starting on round 1 on leadership.
Yeah, great. I love it. All right. So my question for you, you said, don't tell everyone about your dream. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I learned my grandmother loves me. Don't get me wrong, she's not the bad guy. But like every family member that loves you, we want to keep you safe. And unfortunately, out of our desires to keep our family members safe, sometimes we can pull them away from their dreams. We can pull them off course into safe imitations. And unfortunately, no dream, no job is actually safe. You have to just be who you are. And we have to gauge our family members, friends, co-workers, conspirators as their level of fear and their levels of encouragement and faith. So that's why we can't tell everyone.
That's great advice. Thank you. And please accept our appreciation for competing today. I will send you a certificate as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, our 6th contestant, Paul.
Hello.
Hi, Paul. So, Paul, how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
I started out in Toastmasters in January of 2021, and I am representing Sleek Toastmasters.
Great, thank
I see
you.
Betty in the audience as well. Hi there, Betty.
Yeah, I see some chat in the audience too, people chatting. It's great. What is your Toastmasters education level, Paul?
I finished presentation mastery, and now I'm moving through effective coaching. Since I'm a business coach, maybe I should get some effective coaching, you know?
That's great. That's a great idea. I think it really goes in line right there.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, if I were to give you the opportunity to add a word to the Oxford Dictionary, what would you add?
Yeah, let's just assume that mentorism is already in there. So my next word would be systemania.
Systemania.
Systemania is the way that I work with my clients to help develop systems in their businesses. And it's just having a systems built business and working through the process of getting all those systems set up. It's a little dorky, but I'm into
I like that.
I'm into
I
systems.
like that word. I think it's a good word. Let's add it. We'll petition. How does that even happen? Is that a petition?
I don't know, but the Urban Dictionary is actually quite active, so we could probably get it there pretty quickly.
And then we'll work on the Oxford one. Well, thank you so much for competing. We truly appreciate you, and we will send you a certificate as well.
Thank you. It's been great.
All right, next up, Julie, our 7th contestant.
Good afternoon, Sarah.
Good afternoon. So what club are you representing, and what is your Toastmaster education level?
Today I'm representing Prescott 104. I say that as if I have another club to represent. It's not the only club I'm in, Prescott 104. I've been in for about 4.5 years, and I am at level 5 in motivational and in level 2 in humorous.
Perfect. And what is your, okay, so you already told me your education level, so you got that. So I do have a question. If I did give you the opportunity to time travel, where would you go and what point in time?
Great question. I love it. For sure. I would time travel to I would meet William Shakespeare. I have a special place in my heart for William Shakespeare, and I'm very, very interested to see if he actually did write all those plays. There's some controversy on that, but I would love to talk to him and learn all about him.
Sounds like you'd be doing some interrogating as well.
Absolutely.
Fact checking.
Absolutely. He made up a lot of words too.
Yeah, a lot of his words ended up in those dictionaries. Maybe we can ask him how that happened. All right, thank you so much. And thank you for competing. We'll send you a certificate as well. I do want to thank our contestants. Can we all go on camera and give them some claps and cheers? They truly worked really hard this contest season. So let's cheer them on. It is not easy to get this far. And I want to thank you all for all your hard work. So yay, I love all the cameras coming on. Oh, yay. That's awesome. And as promised last night, I did receive a lot of comments that they really wanted to hear from our dignitaries with some announcements. So we are at this time going to hear from our dignitaries. We will kick it off with Karen, and if the timers can time them, like, let's make sure they're going to go no longer than 5 minutes each, because Steve keeps saying that he has 5 pages of announcements to give. So I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
Hello, District 3. Okay, super excited. Who's had fun this conference? Let's see some hands, let's see some waves, let's see some emojis. We've had fun. It has been phenomenal. The one thing that I want to say, yes, this has been a great conference, but we still have 63 days left in this Toastmaster year. That's 63 days for you to meet your goals as a member, for your clubs to meet their goals. So don't stop. You are about to have so many amazing things happen in the next 2 months. So we are going to keep going. And with that, I'm not going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to go straight to Sarah.
All right, I'm back. I had to do a lap around the room to get in order. I want to thank everyone for attending the conference. And as Karen mentioned, we are not finished with this year, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank the conference committee, the speakers, everybody who has played a part in this conference. We truly, in my opinion, knocked it out of the park. So thank you so much, everyone. And for everyone out there, remember, it is not too late to encourage your members to complete some education levels and to recruit new members, because we are on a great path. I love hearing everybody learning and going through the Pathways program and really excelling in what they want to do. So encourage your members to jump in there and finish the year strong as we bring them home, Steve. Oh, Steve's not allowed to wear Cub stuff, so you'll notice he's in a different outfit.
For the record, go Cubs. 63 days left. That's 63 more days to take some of this knowledge that you've taken from these roundtables, from these presenters, bring it back to your clubs, expand it. We still have time to do open houses. Get your clubs distinguished. Sarah mentioned the educational goals. Focus also on the membership. We still have time to hit it on home. Hit it strong. We're excited. Take it on home. We have one more presenter. Incoming Club Growth Director, Tom Taboni. Tom.
Thank you, Steve. 63 days. That is that's 7 9-inning baseball games. And we're in the extra innings. We're going into the 10th inning right now. So let's break this tie and let's get it all the way through. We're in the 10th inning. 11th inning starts on Monday. And then 31 days after that, the 12th inning. And we're going to hit it home, have a grand slam, and finish this district really strong. 63 days, talk to your clubs, talk to your people out there, and let's make it happen, District 3. For the new kid on the block coming in, we want to make it all good. And go Angels.
Angels. Angels. All right. So I am waiting for our chief judge to return. And I see our chief judge.
I'm here.
All right, chief judge, do we have the results of the contest?
Madam Contest Chair, we do have the results.
Great. I am waiting for the results, so maybe give me a second just to see if they come in on my phone, and we'll be right back. Okay, I did get the results. Sorry, there was a little delay in the Wi-Fi. So at this point in the script, it says optional announcements. So we're gonna take Steve off of there. We do have the results of the contest. And again, let's cheer for our contestants one more time. Thank you so much for all your hard work, because just getting to this point is a true accomplishment. All right, I have the results. And in third, contestants, make sure your cameras are on so we can spotlight you and cheer you on. Perfect. All right, the third place winner is Perosia Reynolds. I love all the cheers. Our second place winner is Des Losberg. And our first place winner is Sylvia Davis. Oh, I wish you could hear the ballroom. I'm in a separate room and I can hear them screaming in the ballroom. It's awesome. Thank you all so much. You have done an incredible job, and I am truly, truly, truly proud of you. And I hope that you cheer on Sylvia as she moves into the next round. Thank you so much. And I am going to close the contest right there, but I am going to turn it back over to Ryan.
Toastmasters, what an action-packed 2 days. We had a phenomenal humorous contest last night, and everyone in person, thank you so much for showing up. Michael Holian mentioned it last time during our little presentation. It's about being together. It's about having community. And there's so much energy with everyone here. So I can't wait to see you at Symposium, July 22nd. I can't wait to see you all next year. And remember, pay it forward. Go visit some other clubs in person. And that's a wrap on our baseball Toastmasters District 3 event. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Celebrate.